Now to introduce the contestants. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner stands a man with a record of 20 wins, 9 losses, 3 draws, with 11 KOs to his name. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 11 stone, 11 pounds, 7 ounces, and tonight he wears the blue, white and black shorts. Please welcome, from Pereira, Argentina, Martín Fidel Ríos. And across the ring in the blue corner stands a man whose unbeaten record reads 20 wins with 12 KOs to his name. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 11 stone, 13 pounds, 8 ounces, and tonight he wears the black and white shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a former WBO European champion from Swindon, Jamie Cox. Your referee will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you. Follow my commands and remember, defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 3-minute rounds.
Don't blink if you've not seen Jamie Cox before. He can punch. His last fight last November lasted just 68 seconds, and he's a man in a hurry. Martín Fidel Ríos, he's gone the distance with Jimmy Kelly, but Jamie Cox, one suspects, could be a different package altogether. He can hit, and he'll be going looking for the Argentinian. Good left hand, straight away.
Well, feet just got caught up a little bit there, and he had to take a little right hand of his own there, did Jamie Cox. Just not...
Well, I don't think that is a very clever thing to be doing in the opening seconds of a fight, and Phil Edwards making it perfectly clear that he won't stand for it.
That's better for Cox. Don't forget the jab, don't neglect the jab, the basics. I know he's strong and he wants to just tear everyone's head off, but you know, he's been a boxer. That's a winner of a Commonwealth gold medal.
Head going in again, head going in again. He'll get a point taken away if he keeps on. Sorry, Barry.
There's no need for it either. It's not as if he's yet being roughed up at all by Ríos.
Again, the heads are going close. He's desperate to make a big impression here tonight, Jamie Cox, but there's a thin dividing line between making an impression and going outside the rules and getting yourself in trouble.
They're caught with the right hand there.
Landed with another right then. And Ríos had a few words to say to him, a few observations. He doesn't like the way in which he's going about this.
Just needs to take a little breath here, does Jamie Cox. He wants to go and get that first round knockout to keep this little momentum he's got of destruction. But just get the win. I know you hit hard enough, you'll probably stop the guy. Just take your time a little bit.
Ríos went the distance with Jorge Helland, Argentinian who beat Macklin in Dublin, and he's had 3 wins since that loss. Holds some minor Latino belts, but if he gets past Jamie Cox, he'd be right in the mix himself, but he takes a solid left hand. But
he took it well, to Ríos' credit. Just a little bit over-eager there, Jamie Cox, just smothering his work a little bit. There's a little bit of feints, a few feints to get in.
He's trying to just blitz him, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, he really is.
Had a career which has been a frustrating one, held back by injuries over the years. And now Phil Edwards is going to talk to both guys and tell them to tidy it up, keep the jabbering to a minimum and get on with the boxing. Not a lot of love lost, is there?
No. And he's getting caught with a few shots there, here, Jamie Cox, that he shouldn't be getting caught with. He's winning the round, you know, he's showing it, and he's physically stronger, but if he just took a little breath, like I said, took his time a bit, you know, he's hitting the target clean.
Oh, hello. Well, that would have been interesting if Ríos had thrown one then. I don't think Cox would have taken it with a smile, would he?
Well, I'll tell you what, the last thing we need now is to get Cox into a state, because he will go right at him and lose everything. He's an erratic character.
Well, that's just stupid, isn't it?
And there was no need for it. It's not as if he was getting tied up too much.
And here he does it again. There you go.
Just needs to settle himself a little bit now. That's what the corners should be, and probably will be telling him right now. But he'll hurt this kid, but he's just getting a little bit too wild there, Jamie Cox. He's better than that round.
Don't get wound up. You get close, keep your head on the outside, okay? Don't get swinging and loading you, okay? Nice and calm. Watch your head, keep it on his chest, not his face. Smart work, Jamie, relax, focus.
Don't get wound up. That was something which he certainly looked in that 3 minutes. That both of them did. Bit of feeling at the way in, and it's kind of continued in the ring. Oh, good left hand from Ríos.
Good right hand first, swinging right, the left hand.
Swinging right, and then the left hand right on the jaw, and now the head going in. And he's going to get a point taken away if he carries on.
Do you know
final warning.
He felt, because there's a right hand first, then a left hand. He felt them, and what he's got to do is get behind his boxing a little bit. He can box, Jamie Cox.
Well, the instruction was to get his head on the chest, and it's in dangerous territory if he does so, because Ríos now will be only too well aware that if he gets that head contact again, in all probability Cox will have a point taken away. Not a big banger, Ríos.
No, and thank God he's not, let's be honest. But again, like we said this earlier on in the night with other fighters, that might have done Cox a favour now. He's been caught with 2 shots. He was shook up a little bit. You know, just to settle himself a little bit now. See, and just boxes me, not thinking he can just walk through everyone he meets.
There is a danger in any sort of sport that you kind of believe your own hype if you're not careful.
Yeah, well, you can't blame him. He's been smashing everyone. Caught again there, Cox.
Well, Ríos getting the better of that exchange. And Cox knees. Oh, it's one round the back of the head. Now he's going to lose a point for that, surely. He ain't going to get away with that. This has been coming, and that was, I'm afraid, an act of crass stupidity.
He just needs a cool head. He hasn't got a cool head, it's a problem.
John Costello's going to have to give him the right attack between rounds.
You got to just get back to his boxing. Forget about trying to walk through this kid. And Ríos is cleverly doing the right thing by talking to Cox, trying to wind him out the best he can.
And he's smacking him as well.
Teeing Cox up at the minute. Is Ríos? Oh, it's good there for Jamie Cox though. And a good body shot. Again.
Oh, look at this for a toe-to-toe tear-up. My word. 2 of them going hell for leather. Not too much sweet science defence here.
Oh, you can't blame... I don't blame Cox for that, because Ríos is holding off a deal off. He's just trying to get his arm free, Jamie Cox.
Another one dangerously close to being round the back of the head. He's already had the 1 point deducted.
Oh. It's lucky there, Jamie Cox, that he headbutted Ríos again there. Oh.
Well, after the smooth skills of Paul Butler, this is rather a different sort of scenario.
The thing is, with the temper of the Jamie Cox, all he's thinking is about taking this guy's head off. And that's the last thing he needs to be thinking.
Going to wind up being on the receiving end himself if he's not careful. Ríos landed another left hand pretty flush then.
Well, Ríos is holding him every time he gets in close. But Cox will say that's the referee's job, not his job then, to make a deal out of it.
Clash of heads once more. And Ríos gives him a bit of verbals as he goes back to the corner. Well, point deduction for Jamie Cox, but did he do enough to win the rest of it? Maybe not.
No, I don't think so, John. Not for me. No, yeah, they like the little thing, but look at them. The big quality shots at the beginning of the round when he was shook up. And it was a close round. Come back into it. It's a 10-8 round, that is, for Ríos then. I think he might have just edged the round. It's a close round, to be fair.
Well, there's the point deduction. That was just crazy.
Well, it's out to nothing as well.
He's already had the warning for headbutts, and then he smacks him round the back of the head.
So look at this, great stuff. I think Jamie Cox had the better of this exchange here, but look how tough Ríos is. Takes everything coming back. Lucky there as well.
Well, that was real toe-to-toe macho man stuff, wasn't it?
Round 3.
Well, John Costello has told Jamie Cox, tidy it up. Let's just see you boxing. Oh, no. If he'd landed then, he could have got chucked out of the fight.
That's better. Bit of thinking behind the work now for Jamie Cox. That's what he needs to do. Good body shot.
Heads clashed. Ríos, the taller man. See how tall he is as well, because Cox stands 5'11".
Yeah. Oh, lovely uppercut there from Jamie Cox. How tough is this Ríos, though? We all know how Jamie Cox can hit, and Ríos is just shrugging him off.
He's trying to show Cox that he's nothing. There's a lot of psychological gaming going on in there.
But he's constantly talking to Cox, winding him up. I would put Vaseline in Jamie Cox's ears so he can't hear what he's saying. I really would. I would. I just don't. You don't want any part of this. He gets wound up, and that's when he gets in trouble.
Well, that's the nature of the beast.
Been a little bit calmer in this round so far, Jamie Cox, and boxing a little bit better for it. Nice right hand there from Ruiz. Oh, good response though from Cox. And Ruiz just laughing at it.
Wanting a bit of help from the referee. They walked into one there. Head going in once more. Phil Edwards is going to have to say something to him.
His Spanish gum shield out, it's gone missing, I think.
Anybody find the gum shield? I think we've got it now. He's wandered off to a neutral corner, and he's taking every little bit of time he can here to get this back in. Phil Edwards telling him he did it deliberately. And Jamie Cox, meanwhile, can do nothing but just stand and watch. Good left hand.
Yeah, good shot.
And again, he's hurting with that one. And now Ríos is in trouble. Cox trying to bully him away, and now trying to take him out. And he's gone. He's gone with the left hand. Almost threw one while he was on the ground. Referee getting him away, and Cox landing a tremendous left hand. And finally, in this battle of the macho man, it is Cox who's prevailed there, and the gum shield is out once more.
That can't keep going on either, the gum shield though. He did hit him on the floor there, Jamie Cox, and he knew what he was doing as well. He's a man possessed, Jamie Cox, when he got a guy going. Well, good work, and Ríos was trying to turn his body, trying to get Cox to hurt him. Oh, public warning for the gum shield.
Well, that's a point deduction already, a 10-8 round, so it's looking like being a 10-7 round now, unless there's going to be another knockdown. Now he's trying to bite him, is he? Is he trying to bite him?
Will he get thrown out for that?
He looked as though he's trying to have a bit of a nash on the neck there.
Oh, good right hand, left hand as well from Cox.
Cox, as you say, Barry, fighting like a man possessed here. Punches thrown out to the bell. Somebody's up on the ring apron, wanting to join in. There's a bit of bad behaviour from some of the Cox fans at ringside, but their man in this pretty unseemly brawl is the one who's prevailing.
Listen, he likes to give you excitement to Jamie Cox, but maybe not so much in this fashion. It was some good work here from Cox, but he's getting a little bit too involved and emotionally involved and making it a little bit scrappy. But Ríos is turning his body, so you can't blame Cox for some of those shots maybe around the size.
Message to anybody who knows Jamie Cox or sort of spends a bit of time with him: don't upset him. Don't upset him, because this is what you get.
Ríos took a right hook there off Jamie Cox, trying to save it on the back of the head, but he's turning. While Jamie's throwing, he's turning. So, you know, that's Ríos' problem and his issue.
Landed one when he was down then. Now into the fourth round, and again the referee now is wanting to have a talk to both fighters. I think he's wasting his breath, frankly. What's that last round? I lost count. 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7 to Jamie Cox.
And we're now into the fourth of this, well, interesting 10-rounder, to put it mildly. Ríos trying to fight fire with fire. Well, he's still trying to come back.
He's holding on for dear life there, is Ríos. No, it looks like Cox is holding on.
A bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, I think.
Oh, you've got to be careful there. Clear with the head there, Jamie Cox. Very lucky to get away with that. It's only the fact... Oh, a low right hook, left hook there from Cox.
He's a bit of a loose cannon, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he is, and it's sort of exciting, but if he just takes a little bit of time, he'll stop this guy.
He's going to get chucked out here, Barry, if he carries on like that. That's one after the break, and he said, do it again and you're out.
Well, it's a race of who's going to get chucked out, isn't it, really?
Well, that was just stupid. The guy's said break, he's giving instructions, and he throws a shot.
You were talking about refereeing. Oh, some fights are easier referee than the others.
I think Roy Francis might have had him out of there by now. We were talking about him a bit earlier. Good body shot.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely shot.
Well, Cox is certainly winning the fight without any of the stupidity now.
He is when he takes a bit of time. He's the better fighter, the better boxer, and he'll win, and he'll get the stoppage, I'm sure, like that. He'll wear this guy down. Because Ríos is tough, he can take a good shot, and he's clever because he knows how to wind Jamie Cox up. But to be honest, I think just standing in front of Jamie Cox winds him up.
Cox just wants to obliterate him, doesn't he? And now he's looking to take him out again. Ríos just wants to hold on, clamping him close. Oh, great shot, good body shot. Really thundered that right hand into the solar plexus, underneath the ribs.
To be fair, though, most people, with most imports especially, would have just given up by now. The punishment Cox have hit him with. Even if they could stand up, they've gone, I'm not having no more of this. These are heavy shots.
Jamie Cox says he wants George Groves. I wonder if George Groves wants him. There's a few out there who you'd quite like to see him against, aren't there? James De Gale, he'd be another one.
Well, it's a great division, domestically and internationally as well, isn't it? So there's loads to choose from.
Interesting fight if he could tempt Chris Eubank Jr. to go up to super middle. One I suspect won't happen. Oh, good shot.
Yeah, fantastic.
Teed him up for that one. And Ríos talking to him.
That was good from Jamie Cox. The bell went, and he turned around, run back to his corner. He's thinking now about...
Maybe the anger is in control at last. Maybe.
But Ríos is holding on for dear life. Like ridiculously holding on. And he's lucky that the referee there didn't more than want to take a point away for that. But then Cox lets himself down there by sticking the nut in again. So... You know, it's like a race who can get disqualified the first.
Bunce's after-fight interview is going to be interesting.
But he better wave the white flag before he puts that microphone in his face, that's for sure.
Oh, stick and slide, stick step. Work out through his backhand. That's all he's got, son. Okay? Don't exchange massive on the left, you've got to come short, right?
Sends out. Round 5.
Has the passion and the raw emotion of the early rounds slightly been extended and played out now? And is it going to be the boxing skill of Cox which carries into victory? He went below waist height there, and Cox was throwing punches.
I'm sort of with Jamie Cox on that, to be honest. I think Ríos is bending low. Oh, both took shots there. Jamie landed with a Cox landed with a left hand, but Ríos landed with a lovely right hand also.
Cox feels that he's starting to get the better of this. I think he reckons that he's proved that he's got the superior hold over Ríos. Trying to slip inside and land that big right hand.
It's better, that left hand of his from the southpaw stance, Jamie Cox, is better when it's straight. I know Ríos is dipping down, but just throw it straight and lower.
I wonder how good Ríos's English is.
Oh, good shot.
The chat has continued and it clearly wound Cox up, so I suspect that some of it might not be too easily repeated. There's a good left hand from Ríos.
But to be honest, Ríos is technically not that good, to be honest. He's just massively tough. I mean, crazily tough.
Certainly takes a shot, doesn't he?
Oh, unbelievable. Like, even at the beginning of this round, the jab that Jamie Cox hit him with, how do you stay up from that? That's better, straight left there from Jamie Cox. But dangerous again with the head though, gotta be careful.
That's clearly a premeditated tactic from Cox.
I think he might be cut there, Jamie Cox, in the corner of the left eye.
Have a look when he just turns around. We can't see from our commentary position here. You're right. Yeah. You're right. It's the left eye. That head clash that did it. Must have been. It could be
anywhere from a wild punch to a head clash to a shoulder. God knows.
Well, there's got some work to do.
That's good. Good left hand.
In the corner come the end of the round. 30 seconds to go.
Do you know, I was talking to Jamie Cox in a hotel earlier today, and I said, listen, you've done nothing wrong. The only question mark over you so far has been, can you keep the ferociousness in the later rounds? And you know, we might have to find out tonight. And it'll be good for everyone. If he can, he's a nightmare to fight. But the biggest problem with Jamie Cox, as always, has been his temperament. But he seemed to have settled himself these last couple of rounds.
Well, I think it's fair to say it's since he started winning the fight, isn't it? Or he has started winning the fight since he's settled.
Yes.
Since he settled down and stopped doing the stupid stuff. Let's listen in.
Lift your head up, Jay. Don't just keep your head still, right, son?
Well, he sliced the mix and he fell in after left hand there, okay? And that's what caused that, okay? I don't want you loading up, Jamie. All right, I want you to keep touching this kid with the jab, keep popping the jab and drawing the leads out of him. You can see everything when you do that. Yes. Okay, don't swing with him. All right. Don't try and fucking set the kid's head off swinging with him. Okay, take someone away from him. Keep popping the jab, taking the shots away from him. Okay? Just little dips down to the body, touch up, little dips to the body, turn it over. Don't fall in with it, make sure it's balanced. Okay?
Accidental head clash, the cut.
10 seconds.
Don't fall in. Look, be comfortable, James.
Accidental head clash, the cuts. Dean Edwards, the cut man in the corner, working away on that. Did a fair few head clashes which weren't accidental, but the referees managed to find one which was. Sixth round, by the way, it's a 10 round. Oh my goodness. Again, the clash of heads. Look at this. You can't do that.
Well, to be fair, that time Jamie Cox, this is dangerous with the head. He's putting his head on the chest. But he's cut the guy so tall, it looks like he's going in with the head. He has in the past, but I don't think he did that time. That's better. Just box. Just box. That's all it needs to do. more so because he might have to need a bit of energy, energy in the tank for later on. Because this guy looks like he's going to take everything that Jamie Cox got to offer.
Argentinian corner, or the Argentine corner, should I say, getting rather excited about one or two of these right hands that Ríos is landing in this round. They still think their man is very much in this, and he's taken another one, Cox. And the head goes in once more.
To be fair, it wasn't. I think it's where Jamie Cox squares his feet. It might look worse than it actually is.
The blood is flowing from that eye of Cox once more.
He knows how to play the game, doesn't he, this Ríos? Moans every time a punch is anywhere near the borderline.
It was a rather different fight when he fought Jimmy Kelly, wasn't it? I don't remember any of this. But perversely, probably doing Jamie Cox good not to be just blowing a guy out in 70 seconds as he did in his last contest.
He's got to show what he's got in the tank, hasn't he, though? Which is so far, he's still been powering the shots, good energy. He's been a little bit too easy to hit Jamie Cox because he's got that tunnel vision and want to go and rip the guy's head off. And that's not always, and as you step at the levels, that's not always a good thing. You walk onto a big shot.
So much of the time, Cox does rather trade on raw aggression. Ríos is a really ragged, raw sort of fighter himself, or he's been made so.
Yeah. And I think that raw aggression and that energy that Cox has is what's going to pay the bills for him. I know that, but he can box, this kid, Jamie Cox. And I think if you step at the levels, you've got to use that boxing ability a bit more to get into range before you use that animal instinct to want to go and rip the guy. But the last few rounds, he's been much better, Jamie Cox, for me.
And winning another round there. He's firmly in control on points.
He's been more controlled. He's been more controlled as well within himself, which has been good.
Let's hear from John Costello again.
Look for him, John. Use your jab and look your shots clean. Yeah. Don't throw a single. Come back with two for me, okay? Yeah. Don't come back with a single. Come back with two. I know he is. Jamie, this kid, he's finished. He's got nothing left. Yes. Okay. So I need you hitting with volume. Okay, not singles. Okay. Okay, you let him off the ropes. Hitting him with fucking singles. Yeah. I need a bit more volume. Okay. So you shift. Twos and threes come back with. Okay. Not singles. Don't load on him. Okay. Create the opening. Hit him clean. Right. Why are you going to find him something you don't see, son? Okay. It's better, James. Nice and calm, relaxed. Okay. If he turns that shoulder, James, he's going to come back to the back and don't walk back to him.
Seconds out. Round 7.
The only round we've given to Ríos was the second. Oh, and another big clash of heads. Ríos on the receiving end. Now, what's the referee going to make of this?
I don't think that's just where Cox is squaring up coming forward. Ríos is throwing the right hand. I think that's just one of those things. Though Cox would get the blame for coming forward.
You could see a massive bang of heads here, putting one of them down. They're coming in with such ferocity. You really could see somebody being floored by a head butt, for want of a better word.
Hey, but if it's good enough for Bernard Hopkins, it's good enough for Jamie Cox.
Having his last fight, the old boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Before too long.
Oh, that's good. Except for the early rounds when I think Ríos, he shook and wobbled Cox a little bit. Except for that, he's just been stubborn and awkward and irritating.
Has this head on the chest tactic been right? If you'd been in the corner, would you have said that?
Not since he's been... maybe that would have been the offset, but once he's been caught with the public one, I'd say this, like John Costello said, put your head on the outside. On the outside, you can't get close. Not with a head like that. You can't go underneath the chin and roll.
A nice little uppercut inside from Ríos. So then getting him in an arm lock, which isn't allowed. Phil Edwards has earned his money, whatever it is. The referee.
Yeah, he really has.
And remember, already there has been the point deductions for Jamie Cox.
Got to be careful there again with the head there, Jamie Cox.
One round the back, but Ríos turned his back.
And Ríos is talking to Cox all the time in that corner.
He's wanting a response out of Cox. He's going to get one.
Cox is hitting him on the back, but Ríos is bending forward. You've got nowhere else to hit him.
Shoulders going in, elbows, you name it, heads.
Ríos is laughing and just grabbing the buttocks there of Jamie Cox.
Oh, good shot. Solid right hand that from Ríos.
You know what,
Cox takes it well.
I'm glad Jamie Cox got caught with that, because he squares his feet up like too often when he gets close, and that you'll watch this back and realise maybe not a good idea.
Well, it's been, in many ways, a bit of a mess of a fight, but it's never been one which you can take your eyes off.
Yeah, it's been a bit scrappy, hasn't it? A bit wild. Too much emotion involved.
Oh, dear me.
You see that, where Jamie Cox squares his feet up, Ríos is throwing the right hand. So, you know, that's no one's to blame there for that. That's just one of those horrible things. Which, luckily, it wasn't too bad. Could have been a lot worse there. Regarding cuts and bumps and even being knocked out by it, as you mentioned earlier.
I always find it interesting how some fights you never sort of get the passion, and other fights like this there's just sort of a deep-seated enmity and dislike.
Still, Jay.
10 seconds.
Good lad.
7's out. Round 8.
Well, 8th round. You wouldn't have thought it was going to go as far as this from what was happening early, and Ríos has had to absorb an awful lot of those big left hands like that one. Has been down, remember, Ríos. That 10-7 round in the third.
Well, he was down and a public one, wasn't he, in the same round?
Again wanting to hold on now. Did he try to bite him there? What's going on here? I think he might have tried to have a bite at him, and the referee is saying get out of it. Now there's a headbutt as well, and he's going to have a point taken away. The referee thinks he's play acting. I thought for a moment, Barry, that he looked as though he was trying to bite him.
Well, he's biting him or kissing him or biting him. He's got him pulling on for biting.
So he's having a point anyway.
Cox is going to get a warning for headbutt.
I told you to stop boxing and you punched down. So it's a point off you as well.
So he's having a point taken as well now. Both of them on the cusp of disqualification. One more and they'll be out. Well, that made their ears buzz, as was it the Stranglers who once said that back in the day? Oh,
You've got to be careful there, Jamie Cox. Got to be Ríos is enjoying winding him up.
What a crazy fight this has been, Barry.
It must be just the most bizarre thing ever. This should have been a routine win for Jamie Cox, let's be honest. I don't think that Ríos is tough. I'm not saying he should have got the knockout, but a routine win. And he let his emotions get the better of him, Jamie Cox. But it's a lesson he'll learn. He'll watch this back and he'll learn from this.
He kind of sympathised with Phil Edwards, but could he perhaps, difficult to be critical, I know, and who'd be a referee, but should he have really laid down the law more from an early stage?
Well, it's hard, isn't it? Because he knows one guy's holding. He knows Ríos is holding, but that's almost one of those things where you let people get away with it a little bit. Part of the game. But then when Jamie's headbutting, you know, he's had to take a point. So then, but there, the referee was perfect there, giving a point for each, because, you know, Ríos initiated the foul, but then Jamie, retaliated.
One more from either man, and there's going to be a disqualification. And frankly, it's looked as though this fight could end like that from the very first moments. Not going to be Facebook pals, I don't think, these two.
Well, Jamie was saying in an interview yesterday that he don't like boring fights. He don't want people to tune in and things to be boring, but certainly hasn't been that.
No.
But I tell you what, I wish the corner wish it was a boring fight. I just wish Jamie Cox realised that he can box, and he's not just a guy who can knock people out. But he would have made this fight an easier night for himself.
He's actually won it on just what's happened from a boxing point of view. He's won it by street, hasn't he?
And if he was a little bit, especially in the early rounds, a little bit just took a breath, like I said, he might have worn this guy down. Just with the sheer power work rate, a little bit low there with the left hand, Jamie Cox. The quality of the work, he might have worn this guy down into submission. That's a 9-8 round for Jamie Cox.
Point deduction from both people, both men, and Cox doing enough to take it. Now, this is where the referee decided enough was enough. Did he kiss him? Did he have a little nibble of his ear?
You can't be like this is that.
Headbutt.
He's lucky he never got. Even though Ríos initiated everything with the kiss or the bite or whatever he did. That there. But it looks like he's trying to bite him, to be honest, which is lucky he didn't get chucked out of the ring straight away. And it was all Ríos up to this point. But that there, the retaliation is almost worse than the foul. I think that's what they look at it in sport, so he's lucky not to get chucked out.
10 seconds.
Argentinian cornerman's just nicked my bottle of water. So if the larynx starts to get a little bit hoarse in the next 6 minutes, you know why. Question is whether or not these two can get through 6 minutes without doing something stupid. Well, that has to be a pretty moot point. Ríos will try and do everything possible to try and entice Cox and try and wind him up.
He's gone.
Oh, is he disqualified? No, he's taking another point. Well, hang on, that's three. Surely he should be out. I think Phil Edwards has lost count of the points he's deducted. If he's done that, it should be a disqualification, surely.
And can you blame him if he's lost count? Oh, lovely from Cox there. That's good work.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be controversial now if Ríos goes and chins Cox and gets him out of there, because Cox's corner and Cox himself will scream blue murder and say that Ríos should have been out of the fight.
To the referee's defence, you can't blame him for forgetting how many points he given. It's been 4-5 now, public warnings.
Yeah, he doesn't. Rightly, he doesn't want to see the fight end in a disqualification, despite the fact it's pretty much odds on from the word go.
But as you said earlier, John, good left hand there from Cox. So earlier, just from the punches landed, really, except for that one little combination where Ríos wobbled Cox a little bit, it's been all Jamie Cox.
Taking an uppercut there, though, Cox. And again, and then a right hook, and now it's Cox who wants to hold on, and the head goes in again. And another big right hand from Ríos. And this time it's Cox who's wanting to stifle Ríos and wanting to hold on.
Oh, lovely left hand there. He's going to get chucked out here, Ríos, now. Five public warnings.
I lose count of the number of reasons why either man here could have been chucked out. shot, lovely straight left hand from Cox.
Just took a little step back and he could have gone again with that left hand, Jamie Cox. Instead of squaring his feet.
Cox knows he's won it. Ríos is pretty much spent. Surely that wasn't an apology, was it, from Ríos? Can't believe it.
Oh, lovely jab. Look at that, great stuff.
He took a few in that round, though, Cox.
He did. I still thought he won the round, mind. I mean, without the penalty one, I still think that's a 10-8 round for Cox. I wonder if Phil Edwards will be counted at the penalty one as no.
Well, he's looking at his card and kind of trying to work out why he's where he's at. I know that Jamie Cox will be a mile in front.
If you don't get the right, you right.
Corners, 10 seconds.
That's right, son. Keep it smart.
7 seconds. 10th and final round.
Last round, and at last a little bit of sportsmanship between the two. Not sure the next 3 minutes will be quite like that. Could be a little bit X-rated, this. 18 rated, I suppose I should say nowadays.
Well, a sensible man though, who's literally like 9 or 10 points ahead, would just dance around now and coast this round. And I'm sure that's what Jamie Cox is going to do.
Not.
Exactly. The last thing he wants to do now is get involved in anything at all. But that's not in his make. Oh, good shot.
He's hurting him with those. He's hurting. He's in trouble, Ríos. Those body shots, particularly the right hand, have really taken a toll. Oh. And then a huge left.
He's poking his tongue out.
What is he made of? He's smiling across to his corner. God, dear me. You see some fighters who take a standing 8-count shaving, but he's not one of them.
I'll tell you what a career Ríos got as a sparring partner.
Oof. Landed a good right hand himself off the ropes. You watch some of the action shots from movies, you know, I mean, the old Creed fight, I was watching that the other day. Some of the exchanges are patently ludicrous, and you watch this and you sort of think, well, maybe they're not quite so ludicrous.
Oh, loading up there, Ríos. Oof.
Ríos still thinks that he might still turn it round.
And that's why I'm saying Jamie Cox just should be floating around, you know, literally doing nothing.
He put his head in again there, Cox. That is crazy. That is crazy. What on earth is that tactic about? Talk about playing Russian roulette.
Well, we've said about Jamie Cox that, no, people say, oh, that self-destruct button that he has, he always teeters on the edge, and it's been like that tonight for him.
Well, I find it difficult to fathom why that has continued to be a tactic which they're allowing in the corner. Surely to goodness they must have been saying, or should have been saying, don't do it.
It's because he's an animal, John. That's why he wants to his whole focus is just going in there and just smashing up the guy in front of him. That's really his MO, and that's all he wants to do.
Sort of Jake LaMotta type stuff, isn't it?
Oh, it's good stuff to watch. I mean, really, I'm all for clean boxing and stuff. You know that more than anyone, but I've quite enjoyed this tonight.
No, we've certainly seen extremes, haven't we? We've seen the silky skills of Butler, and now we've seen that. And even in the congratulations at the end, Jamie Cox, showing the funny side of it, puts his head into him.
Listen, if you're good to watch, Jamie Cox got to watch his back and think, I'm strong, I'm powerful. He boxed a guy who got a really good chin, but he would have got that guy out there if he would have just relaxed a bit more and took his time and not been so lunatic in there, to be honest. And also, and this is because I think this Jamie Cox can be a force at a higher level. He's got to watch that back and think his temperament is going to ruin his career. His temperament is going to stop him from progressing. If he doesn't keep a check on it, he won't go any further, and that's just the honest truth. Because fighters with better quality will catch you coming in, or if higher fights with bigger profiles, you won't get away with some of that stuff. You'll get chucked out. And
stricter referees would have done.
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And that's not being nasty or in any way disparaging towards Phil Edwards, but I can think of a lot of referees who would have had one or both out of there. And certainly in the early stages, it was Jamie Cox who really sailed very, very close to the wind.
Oh, didn't he just? And I think that's the way he likes it. But all in all, it was a quite enjoyable fight to watch.
Maybe they will be mates one day. They're smiling now. Cool. What price the rematch? I don't think so. Here's Mark Burdis.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 98 points to 76. The winner in the blue corner from Swindon, Jamie Cox.
I haven't gone through our card, Barry, but I think it's probably not too far away from that. What have you got it, Barry? 90?
97, 87, I think that's what he meant. 80, not 60.
Yeah, 76 is going a bit too far, I think, but who knows? What we do know is that it was a runaway win for Jamie Cox, and I'm not sure that scorecard's quite what we've got.
We'll do our best to clarify that scorecard for you. Hardest working man in the ring, Phil Edwards there. Now listen, there are contrasting views of this one. A lot of people in the hall really enjoyed it. I'm sure a lot of you out there watching on Box Nation really enjoyed it.